Hello YouTube and welcome to today's video. The Synchro event is here. It feels like the NR festival just ended, but here we are with another event and you're not going to want to miss this one. The rewards are very substantial for this event, so you're going to want to have a deck that'll let you climb up the ladder, and that's what we're aiming to provide you in today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing 5 deck lists that are going to dominate this event. I'm going to mix in some budget options, some synchro decks, and some decks that may not use synchroing all that much. If you like this kind of video, really appreciate a subscription to the channel, but without further ado, let's jump into these lists. The first list is Adamancipator. Now this is a deck at the absolute top tier of competitive play due to the inclusion of Baronne De Fleur, and in the Synchro event it's also going to be potentially the best deck. The main deck is basically the same as a ladder list, however you are going to want to include more of these Adamancipator crystals, which allow you to recycle your synchro monsters and make more synchro plays later in the duel. We're still of course going to play Block Dragon, being able to search our deck for multiple cards, getting us access to tuners, and giving you necessary material to make Baronne De Fleur. I chose quite a few hand traps in this format. I expect there to be a lot of special summoning. Nibiru the Primal Being is going to come down for a lot of value in a lot of these games. Foolish Burial plus the Tackle Crusader is an engine. You don't need these. You could play whatever you have. You could also play this with Sekka's Light, taking out all of these spells and throwing in Sekka's Light instead, filling up the rest of your main deck with monsters. Totally viable strategy. The extra deck I left rather light. These are the only monsters I think you really need. Your best boss monster besides Baronne De Fleur is going to be Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which you can easily make using one of the level 6 Adamancipators plus a level 2 tuner. So Crystal Wing will give you a nice, concise monster negate, in addition to a Spell and Trap negate in Dragite and an Omni negate in Baronne De Fleur. You're going to want to set those up, and your beginning boards are going to be quite potent. The rest of the extra deck you can fill in with whatever you like. I did want to mention Crimson Blader, a very nice tech for this format, since your opponent cannot special summon level 5 or higher monsters after this destroys a monster by battle. It can completely invalidate a lot of synchro strategies, so making this going second can be really strong. So yeah, Adamancipators, full power rocks, it's going to just crush in this event. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Also, some low-hanging fruit. Virtual World is going to be very strong in this format. Virtual World main deck is pretty much the same as one you'd find on ladder. You have access to Pot of Desires, a premier draw card, so good, and it doesn't hurt this deck at all. So you're just drawing 2 cards for free. Emergency Teleport, very good. Virtual World is nice when it works. It can brick because you play high-level monsters, but it's worth the risk. The extra deck, though, does look quite different. Our boss monsters are going to be Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon and Shen Shen. So you're going to try and set up Crystal Wing, which you can do using Ultimaya Sulkin. Ultimaya Sulkin can be made using like a Coral Dragon plus like a Stardust Charge Warrior, or maybe like a Lily plus like Lao Lao, depending on how your hand shapes up. But you're going to want to make Ultimaya Sulkin and then set a card to special summon Crystal Wing directly from your extra deck. You can play more big dragons in your extra deck to facilitate this combo for like later turns if you want. Another combo you could go for is XX Saber Gotems. This will allow you to rip cards out of your opponent's hand, continually summoning it back with Cloud Castle and then tributing it again. That's definitely viable, but you don't really have like a King of Calamities to go into afterwards, so not quite as good as it would be on ladder. Vermilion Dragon Mech, Crocus Dragon are going to give you generic removal. Very good, but I encourage you to just consolidate your board into like a Crystal Wing, a Shen Shen, plus a Chuche. That'll be plenty to get through this event. This deck is going to take it. It'll definitely be one of the best decks in this format for sure. The next deck is Synchron's. This deck is brand new. We have all kinds of new support from the last set that push it over the edge, and honestly, this list is like pretty much the exact list you'd use on ladder. So if you're looking to build Synchrons, this event is a good way to do it, since the deck uses like no link monsters anyways. This is a list that I've come up with so far. It's still working. I haven't tested it, but it is a good base that'll allow you to get into the deck and adjust it to your liking. For this list, we use two Jet Synchron, 1 Brotar, which is a hand trap, but you can also special summon it and add monsters from your deck to your hand, so it's kind of like a searcher. Converging Will's Dragon, 1 Fleur Synchron, 2 Doppel Warrior, and this is like one of your best extenders. 3 Maxi, of course, 1 Caligo Claw Crow, very good extender. You could play multiples, some people do. Junk Converter picks up your deck and adds a Synchron, so yeah, you're gonna play 3. Satellite Synchron, Junk Synchron, your best normal summon, 3 Ash Blossom. This new card, Stardust Synchron, it's a really good extender. It allows you to play through more, and it just like fixes your board, fixes your levels, adds spells or traps, so it kind of does it all, honestly. 1 quick draw Synchron, you know, to special summon from hand. A Nibiru. 1 Nibiru validates the max C, because if you're drawing a bunch of cards, your opponent's like, bet, you know, you don't have it, and then you just have it, like, oh, it's just so good. And then Monster Reborn to kind of fill in the cracks, like if you fixes your weird synchro plays. Foolish Burial, you can send away like a Doppel Warrior. It's not as good in this deck, but you can send away like a Jet Synchron to get the extra material you need, so you could play this. Reinforcements, Warrior, yeah, you know. 1 for 1, level 1s. Tuning picks up your deck and searches it. Stardust Illumination, it sends a Stardust monster from your deck to your graveyard, so you're probably going to send this most of the time because you contribute a monster to special it from graveyard. Stardust Overtake, a nice special summon. You can't special summon for the rest of the turn except Synchro monsters. Oh no, what a restriction. And Arrive in Light. This is okay. It's not really that great, but I think this card is at least played at 1, and so you definitely can include 2. Call by the Grave just to make sure your plays go through. I expect we're going to see a lot of hand traps in this format. For the extra deck, I've decided on Celestial Double Star Shaman. It's your level 2, level 3. Metal Marcher brings back a dude. Hyper Librarian, you try and make this early so you can draw a bajillion cards. If you can make this early and keep synchroing, the advantage just spirals out of control. Excel Synchron fixes levels, sends a Synchron, pretty good. Junk Speeder, this is like the best card in your deck. If you make this and it resolves, you're probably winning. It just like summons like 5 tuners from your deck. It's like insane. So yeah, if this card resolves, you're probably winning the game. Garden Rose Maiden, this card's kind of cool. It does search Black Garden, but I didn't choose to play Black Garden. You totally can. The reason that I play this is because of its graveyard effect. Like you make this and then you climb up into like a Coral Dragon, and then you can banish it from the graveyard and special summon a Dragon Synchro from your graveyard. So that's kind of nice because you can like make this and then summon it back later. Yeah, and you can also make like Shooting Riser Dragon, Stardust Dragon. You have to play like the vanilla Stardust for some of the cards to activate correctly. Crystal Wing, part of your end board. Chaos Ruler is kind of good. It can really hit a lot of great stuff for your deck. You have a lot of lights and darks, and so it can mill like a Jet Synchron. It can add like a Junk Synchron. So yeah, it's pretty good. Baronne De Fleur definitely played, part of your end board, and you have these big guys, Quasar and Shooting Majestic Star Dragon. You can play a variety of big boss monsters. This deck has infinite creative potential. Once you get good at Synchrons, you can make anything you want. So really fun deck, honestly. If you're looking to play Synchrons on ladder, this Synchro event is a great place to start since it's pretty much the same list. And Draco. So yeah, I hate to do this, but there is a bully in the format. Draco is playable. The Draco limitations include Majesty Maiden and Dynamite Knight to 1. However, this can be mitigated by just playing Dry Earth because the problem cards still exist. For this list, I chose to play 1 Majesty Maiden, 3 Ignis Heed, 1 Dynamite Knight, 3 Dry Earth, and then the 1 Metaltron. You just want names. This card is a True Draco, so you can search it. And yeah, it's pretty strong, honestly. It's like 3,000 attack and unaffected by the world. So if you summon this and put up like a Kaiser, like you're just gonna win. Yeah, it's honestly really gross. 3 carded Demise to draw 3 cards. Pot of Duality to search 3 cards. Draconic Diagram picks up your deck. Kaiser Coliseum, extremely degenerate Floodgate, allows you to just put up a monster. And how are you going to synchro summon with 1 monster? So Kaiser Coliseum, if it resolves, like you win. You literally win. 3 Heritage, 3 Disciples, of course. And I started playing this 3 Waterfall of Dragon Souls. I'm kind of inspired by this list that got 2nd place at a 3,000 person OCG tournament in like current format. But it was True Draco, and they're playing 3 copies of this. Add any worm from your deck to your hand. So it's really nice. If you set this up with like a return, you can search for any worm like this and then return, summon it during your opponent's turn and trigger your Erupt. Yeah, so it's pretty good. It just like kind of makes your deck more consistent, makes up for the lost monsters in the ban list. And then 1 Imperial Order, it's the only ultra rare I included in this list. This is like extremely budget, like hyper budget. Like this deck plays no ultra rares. Like you don't even have to play Imperial Order. You could just play 3 copies of Erupt. But I put it in here so I could show you guys that if you have this, it's pretty insane. But yeah, if you don't have an order, you can just play like 3 Erupt, and it's literally no ultra rares. Just clear the event, no ultra rares. Skill Drain it just drains the skill from the game. and 3 Monarchs Erupt, or 1 copy of Imperial Order, True King's Return, and Apocalypse. Plain and simple, no extra deck. You can't play it because of Erupt. But yeah, if you just don't want to synchro summon, if you want to make sure your opponent can't synchro summon, this is the way to play the event, and it takes no ultra rares. So for alt accounts or anything like that, it's yeah, hyper budget players, definitely the way to play. And the last deck I want to talk about is Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs can synchro summon quite a bit if you use Miscellaneousaurus to discard, banish it from grave, special summon Yugioh. You have access to a level 1 tuner at any point in the game. However, the main purpose of this deck is to squeeze a ton of hand traps in and go second, allowing you to Droll and Lockbird your opponent, which synchro decks are very vulnerable to this card. You have Ash Blossom, Maxi, Nibiru, Kaiju's, Lightning Storm, Droplets. Like, going second, you're going to crack boards, and then you can clean up with Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Some of your synchro options, though, using the Yugioh means you can go into any Synchro 5, any Synchro 9 very easily. Some of the better ones include Chambara, which puts a ton of damage on the board. Summoning Chambara with an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is usually game. You can very easily summon Trishula, which is an incredible card. It's limited for a reason. This card, you summon using like a Miscellaneous, an Oviraptor, like maybe a Giant Rex on field with the Yugioh, and you can go into this and just like wipe out all your opponent's advantage. You can also summon like Croco Dragon, which is a pop plus a draw 2, Shen to like banish all your opponent's cards. And I put Wolferat in here. Kind of cool. It's not amazing, but you can get this thing very large and it becomes a Nibiru-like effect. So yeah, this deck is mostly going to focus around summoning Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, wiping out your opponent's resources, and then you can go into a Synchro monster to back him up, and using tons of board breaking cards to clean up whatever creative boards your opponent come up with. So honestly, it's a pretty different take on the event than I'm sure some other people will have. I provided you today with 3 premier synchro decks and 2 decks that really disregard the synchro mechanic. I guess Dinosaurs do kind of use it. There are a lot of other strategies that I didn't include today, including Flower Cardians, Speedroids. I encourage you to just like, you know, let your mind run wild. If there's a deck that you want to play in the event, just go for it. It's super fun to play under these custom ban lists. I will make more videos on this event for sure, including budget lists. If you guys have any other decks that you're playing in this event, let me know in the comment section. I love hearing from you. And if you liked this video, I really appreciate a subscription. But without further ado, I'm going to end it for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the festival, and take care. Thank you for watching.